anything that needs to be hated as much as people hate their natural hair, it should be societal conditioning, because the rise of the natural hair hate trend in the Black community, even globally, is beyond ridiculous. Every single time I get to see videos of women, Black people, saying that they hate their natural hair, and some of them crying that when they wear their natural hair, it makes them look childish, that they've never worn their natural hair, they feel more comfortable wearing wigs and weave other than their natural hair. And honestly, it's so sad to see Black people going through this. And if you're a Black woman who genuinely wants to wear their natural hair out and you feel like you cannot, you basically need one thing, and that is exposure therapy. And the only way it can happen is by forcing yourself to actually wear your natural hair. So basically, wearing your natural hair is exposure therapy. Personally, for the longest, I have always loved natural hair, and I have always worn my natural hair out. I've always styled my hair and I've worn it to different occasions, different places. That is how much I love natural hair. So this video is basically about fear and insecurity, and it's also about what wearing natural hair reveals about people, the society, and conditioning, because natural hair does one thing: it exposes things. So basically, you might be wondering, what is exposure therapy? Exposure therapy simply means when you repeatedly face something that makes you uncomfortable. Yes, and over time, the fear reduces because your brain realizes that you're safe. And this can be likened to someone who is not a public speaker. If you place someone who is not a public speaker in front of 10,000 audience to speak to them, do you think they will be able to deliver? No, because they're not used to it. And one thing that can happen to them on that stage is stage fright, because they are not used to it. That is simply fear. Or someone who doesn't know how to drive a car, and you're telling them to drive a car. Do you think they will drive that car? No. Why? Because they're scared, and that is fear. So basically, when you're not used to something, when you've not done something before, you would definitely be scared. That's what wearing your natural hair would feel like. And when you decide to wear your natural hair for the first time, you will definitely feel visible to people. You might be wondering what people think about your look. You might also be feeling like you are not properly dressed or you're not completely dressed. That is what you might feel for the first time. When I wore my natural hair for the first time, I never felt this way. Why? Because I genuinely love natural hair. So if you're someone who has never worn natural hair, these are the ways you would feel. And it's only you that can actually combat this feeling. There's no other thing that can help you other than you trying to wear your natural hair out. And a lot of people do not admit that they are actually scared of wearing their natural hair. There's no other thing that is stopping you from wearing your natural hair if it is not fear or insecurity. If you have never worn your natural hair from childhood up until adult stage, one thing is certain: it's either you're scared of wearing your natural hair or you're being insecure about your hair. That is just it. And you being scared of wearing your natural hair is basically as a result of societal conditioning about professionalism and beauty standard, and even internalized expectation. Because you're basically thinking or wondering, if I wear my natural hair, do I look good? Do I look presentable? What do people think about my look? These are all societal conditioning, because basically society has seen natural hair as not professional, as not presentable, and you're the only one that can actually combat this fear. So if you're actually going along with the flow of what society thinks about your natural hair, you would never wear your natural hair. This reminds me of a tweet I saw a few days back on Twitter of a lady that said that Black women who actually wear cornrows as hairstyle, that the type of men they would attract are men who drive bikes, like Okada. If you're in Nigeria, they call him Okada men, if that makes sense. Men who drive bikes for a living, like they transport people with their bicycle. That those are the type of men, Black women who wear cornrows, those are the type of men they would attract. So basically, she's saying that cornrows is not a good hairstyle. It's a very cheap hairstyle. So if you're wearing cornrows as a black woman, you will not attract a good man, a man that has money. But if you want to attract men who are well-to-do, men of certain calibers, you have to put on wigs and weave. And it's so sad to see the type of mentality a lot of black women have towards their type 4 hair or African hairstyle in general. Because it's every time people come out to debate about wigs and natural hair or wigs and certain hairstyle, it definitely has to be an African hairstyle. So basically, me putting on cornrows as a protective hairstyle or as a hairstyle, the type of men I will get to attract are men who drive bikes for a living. And it's so funny how black people still broke shame people for the type of job that they do for a living. Because if you're saying me making cornrows, I'll get to attract men who drive bikes for a living. It simply means you're looking down on these people. And most people don't think, like, I've always said this thing that a lot of people, their brains are filled with dust and cobwebs because make it make sense. We cannot learn all the skills in this world. We need people who are carpenters, who are plumbers, who are welders, who are electricians, right? And these are the people who render services when we need them. If these people are not there, if people don't learn these skills or this job, how would we fix things that needs to be fixed? How? Tell me. If you're saying, okay, if I install cornrow as a protective style, I'll attract men who are electricians. If they're not electrician and your lights should get spoiled, who would fix it? If they're not carpenters, who would make chairs for us? Tables, cupboards, drawers, who would do these things? So do you have the time to learn carpentry work? Do you have the time to learn plumbing work? Do you have the time to learn welding work? Do you have the time to learn all these jobs? Do you have the time to do that? The people learning these things are not poor people. They are human beings and they deserve women, they deserve ladies as wives. Okay? So broke shaming people who do certain jobs in 2026 doesn't make any sense. And that's another topic for another day. That's a different conversation. But yeah, you get what I mean. You don't have to broke shame people. People who drive bikes are human beings. They are humans. They deserve love as well. And women putting on cornrows doesn't have any correlation with love. Like it doesn't match. Do you understand? Personally, I wear cornrows every time, and I've always said it countless times that cornrows are my comfort hairstyle. I love cornrows, right? And honestly, I have gotten a lot of compliments from men when I put on cornrows. Yeah, obviously because cornrows snatches my face. I love how it snatches my face. Cornrow is a beautiful hairstyle, and there are many African hairstyles that are beautiful as well. So it's not appropriate to look down on African hairstyle. But you get what she meant. She meant if you're putting on cornrow as a black woman, you're cheap. You attract poor men. But if you're putting on wigs and weave, you attract wealthy men. And that's not true. That's not true. So basically, you wearing your natural hair should not be occasional or situational. You want to frequently and consistently wear your natural hair. If you're wearing cornrows, you're putting your hair in cornrows, mini braids or mini twists, and you're not wearing it out, you're still scared of wearing your natural hair. Let's not deceive ourselves. Don't just deceive yourself. If you're putting on cornrows, mini braids, and mini twists or whatever hairstyle, and you still don't wear your natural hair, you're covering it with wigs 247 from the day you install the hairstyle till the day you take down that hairstyle, you're still scared of what people think about your hair. You're still scared of wearing and rocking your natural hair. So if you're installing cornrows or any African hairstyle and you're covering it with wigs and weave, you're still not confident, you're still not comfortable wearing natural hair. Do you understand? So comfort is basically you wearing your African hairstyle comfortably, going out. People have this idea that okay, you have to wear your natural hair when you're going to church, when you're going to the market, when you're going to run errands. But when you're going for occasions such as weddings or you're going for a job, you don't have to wear natural hair. And all these are as a result of societal conditioning. So you have to combat such fear by wearing your natural hair more often. When you wear your natural hair more often, when people see you with your natural hair, people would stop projecting. It is when people don't see you with your natural hair, when you're not wearing your natural hair, people would project. But when you wear your natural hair more often, consistently, you would feel less fear. You would not be scared of wearing your natural hair out. And you realize that confidence is built. It's not something you wait for. Just like somebody who knows how to drive. Did they fold their arms and suddenly they knew how to drive? No, they practiced. And over time, they became confident and they could drive the car properly. Or someone who is a public speaker, did they become confident facing crowds overnight? No, they practiced. That's how it is. You need to wear your natural hair out more often to fight that fear. When you fight the fear, gradually you gain the confidence. You become more confident. I wear my natural hair out. I can wear my natural hair in a fro. I wear it in a cornrow. I wear it in mini braids. I wear it in mini twists. That is what it should be for you as well. One day you stop overthinking wearing your natural hair. You stop looking in the mirror questioning your natural hair. You stop crying about your natural hair. And as black women, we need to do better. Stop policing people's hair. Also, when you wear your natural hair often, it exposes what people think about natural hair or your hair. Because when people are uncomfortable with your hair, they are always disguised as being curious. They ask silly questions. Some people give backhanded compliments, such as saying, "Oh, your natural hair is beautiful, but it would have been better if you wore a wig," and things like that. So, when your natural hair exposes what others feel or think about natural hair. And I always say this, follow people who wear their natural hair, who have natural hair. There are quite a lot of content creators who have natural hair, who are always wearing their natural hair, who are always showing you how you can style your natural hair. When you follow these people and you see how they are styling and wearing their natural hair, you would feel eager and motivated to wear your natural hair. But if your FYP is filled with people who are wearing wigs, installing frontals, tell me what you will feel. You too would feel the need to put on weaves, install frontals. That is what you will feel. And I'm not saying that wearing wigs and weave are bad. I wear wigs and weave. But at the same time, I wear my natural hair. So if you want to be someone who wears her natural hair confidently, consistently, without feeling any fear, follow people who have natural hair. And that is how you will gain the confidence to wear your natural hair out more often.